a lot of stuns and lockdown as well,
Prepare
and
for
Timbersaw dishes out a ton
battle.
of damage. So we'll see how this goes for both teams, but it looks like both of them want to try to do some sort of, I guess, wombo combo-ish lineup. I feel like MKD3 though, they have the better pushing power.
And I still don't have a mouse cursor. Oh, Dota, please. Anyway, over on the side of WPU, we do have... Oh, there we go. Funky Monkey will be picked up on the Faceless Void. We got H Ninja will be ran on that Windrunner. Davy on the Kotl, followed by his fellow support Jerk on that Jakiro. And Shadow Reaver will be picked up on that Weaver.
And on the side of MKD3, we do have iMarker on the Timbersaw. We have Projects on the Dragonite. Keitari, who is actually the drafter, I
30
believe, is on the
seconds to
Tiny.
battle.
Does have that Ice Infusion. Kamani will be on the Witch Doctor, and did I forget someone? Oh, Dio, there he is on the Crystal Maiden. That's a nice looking set.
Very adorable looking Crystal Maiden. We might see a little bit of fight. Kotl did spot out those heroes, and they've thrown down an Observer Ward, except it's picking up as a Sentry Ward on my side. Oh, Dota. And,
I think I
The
think they dropped
battle
both in the Reserve and the
begins.
Sentry there.
oh, wow. That's a little bit strange that they're throwing a Sentry Ward straight down now. I think that's a little bit questionable since the heroes haven't been rotated into lane. And if you look at, if they were able to have a look at these heroes, they'd notice that Windrunner, she does have the wards on them. So I think that Sentry is a little bit preemptive and it's going to be 100 gold wasted. But then again, it doesn't hurt to be a little bit safer than sorry.
Yeah, it does look like it's going to be a dual lane here for MKD3. Oh well, dual lane bot, dual lane top. Keeper of the Light already putting the pressure on.
I don't agree with this dual lane. I mean, especially with Timbersaw. Timbersaw, what he wants to do, his sole focus is to get the XP earlier on in the game. If he can pick up that early XP advantage by being in that solo lane and get some earlier points in his Well in Death, or even his Timber Chain to escape if he's having a little bit of problem, some points of reactive armor, he's not going to die, and he's going to have the ability to be a pain later on in these fights. With the Crystal Maiden sitting around absorbing a little bit of XP, so she's going to be able to pick up a few additional abilities, but is it worth it compared to the Timbersaw being a higher level? What are your takes on that matter?
I think this Crystal Maiden should have gone to top first. This Windrunner, 473 health. They've got 3 stunners here for MKD3. Could have picked up Windrunner very early on, early first blood, and then Crystal Maiden could have just rotated, gone into jungle to use the Frostbite to get some creep kills as well, get golden experience from there. I don't like, as you're saying, the Timbersaw really needs his experience, and I don't think this
Radiant's
is the
bottom
right play for
tower is
MKD3.
under attack.
And Witch Doctor just been a little bit of a harasser up top here, and he did DC at the same time. Oh, crash. Threw out a little bit of his cast, started doing auto attack damage, and forcing Windrunner out of there. And I mean, look how much damage Windrunner, not Windrunner, the Witch Doctor can do by himself. I mean, as you said, if that Crystal Maiden was up here, they could easily pick up that first blood, and you pick up that first blood for your Tiny, oh, he's going to be quite happy. I mean, he wants that early gold. He wants to pick up that Aghanim Scepter so he can carry, and carry hard. I mean, the faster he gets that Aghanim Scepter, the faster he can start steamrolling his farm, and the more damage output he'll have in these initiations. But, I don't know, it's a little bit strange. They are walking around bottom, I mean, and it also leaves Crystal Maiden dying quite easy. I mean, if they initiate onto Crystal Maiden, what can MKD3 do? iMarker, he's just going to have to run. He's got nothing there except stand to try and take some damage. But if we pucked up, are playing correctly, and are communicating right, they'll just ignore the Timbersaw and find that easy first blood onto that Crystal Maiden.
Yeah, well, Timbersaw can't even do anything. It's too early in the game for him to, like, be able to dish out so much damage that, we pucked up have to be cautious. They could just pretty much balls deep jump on Dio. Crystal Maiden, 473 health, will pop very quickly. You just charge up Keeper of the Light, Keeper of the Lights, Illuminate. You've got the Ice Path and the Jill Breath from Jakiro. Faceless Void obviously is not dealing a lot of damage this early on, but still, I mean, Crystal Maiden, I don't know, I don't think she's going to be very effective here in this bottom lane. I think she should rotate and get her farm from both assists and also from the jungle.
Quick heads up, your overlay is not being changed.
Oh,
Yeah.
Man, I'm so terrible with remembering that.
Luckily, it's not too too far into the game, and we're only 2 minutes in, so not too bad.
You got my back.
And top lane, they're doing a
Oh,
little
looks
bit
like
of
we might have
damage.
jumped.
The Maledict will tick down Windrunner a little bit, but they didn't get too much damage off, and he's going to eat a Tango up, so it's only taking 4 damage per tick there, so it's not too much or too aggressive there.
Yeah, and does leave Kamani now at no mana. He has no mana pots either. This is it was a little bit too much spent there, I believe, from MKD3. They do obviously want to get a kill here on the Windrunner, but like I said before, if they had Crystal Maiden, it probably would have already been happened by now. I also feel like Crystal Maiden should have picked up the Aura at level 2, because currently she's not really using her mana, whereas the other lanes are a bit. And that Crystal Nova is not really going to be doing too much at the moment. They have to just be very passive and yeah.
And down on this bottom lane, Festus Void, he's picked up a Gloves of Haste, so he will be looking towards going towards a fast Midas. And he's got no contestation down here. He's picked up 9 creep kills. He's sitting on par with that Weaver in mid lane, so he's been able to do what he has to do, pick up all the last hits. The Ice Puff comes down onto Dio. Will Dio be in a lot of trouble? It's just a little bit of harassment. Jakira does get a little bit scared off by Marco there, threatening to pull out some damage, but little does Jerk know that he doesn't have any points in any of those scary, many points in those scary abilities.
Yeah, just a little something I'd like to mention here with Jakiro. I quite like to see a liquid fire around level 3 or 4 personally, just because it costs no mana and you can use it as an orb, which means you can put the harassment on without pulling aggro. It just ensures that whoever you're attacking has to be using those tangos up, and it means that they have less regen and less sustainability in that lane. That's just personally my preference on Jakiro. I like the early level in Liquid Fire.
So do I. I mean, you basically mentioned everything that's good for. I'd say usually a level 4, because then you have that 2 points in Ice Puff, and it gives you that extra half a second of stun, which allows your team to move in a little bit faster. Because 1 second, it's not fantastic by any means. 1.4 helps to improve that a little bit. So I always like as many points into that Ice Puff as possible early on, unless you really require that liquid fire and you're pushing down these towers, or the dual breath and you want to get these towers pushed.
Listen bottom.
Yeah, I do agree there, but I would like to see. I don't think another level in Dual Breath at the moment is the right way. I do think you should pick up an extra, just all at 1 point in Liquid Fire. We'll see exactly what he goes for here. Oh, he goes for the Dual Breath.
He
Oh
doesn't
well,
need any liquid
I'm
fire.
actually, yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised that they haven't that we pucked up haven't been more aggressive in his bottom lane. I mean, yes, you've got your faces for he's free farming 23 last hits and all that, but I think they really could have picked up a kill if this Keeper of the Light. Um, although there is that. Oh, in fact, they might go. Nah, it's just harassment.
Yeah, there's not too much they can do. If they hit a Timber Saw, you're not going to be able to find a kill on him. He's got a point in reactive armor. And I mean, Coddle, he's going for the Chakram build, which is what you want to do, so you can continue to spam out those Illuminates and to help out your Jakira if he's running a little bit low on mana. I think it's a little bit strange that Faceless Void decided to come back to the creep camp and miss out on that little bit of lane experience, giving it to Jakiro. He's going to be a little bit happy there. But if you want to have a look around in these other lanes, mid lane, you have Dragonite versus that Weaver. Weaver doing ridiculously well, whereas Dragonite, he's 1 for 0. How does that even happen? You got 3 points in Brief Fire, and you've got 1 kill. I'm speechless.
Yeah, I feel I would also boots first. Personally, I like to see a Soul Ring, just because it means that you can just spam
Well, top
that
lane, we
Brief
might see our
Fire.
first blood. Windrunner, she's gone against the Tiny. Will Tiny be able to get away? The heal's coming out, and there's the first blood. Windrunner, she takes on 2. She comes out victorious. Gingers, they are the superior race. I'm throwing it out there.
Yeah, okay. What did you say, man? But that's actually a great pick off. Actually, a Windrunner to get a solo kill on 2 stunners, that's a big deal. But as I was saying, I do like a Soul Ring on the Dragon. That just means you can use that Brief Fire to just continuously get those last hits.
But there's,
Because otherwise it is a bit tough for Dragon Knight.
yeah, I'm just still surprised that Weaver's been able to run circles around projects. I mean, he's going back in. The brief fire, he does pick up his next 2 creep kills. So now we've started watching him, he's starting to pick up some creep kills. I think shouldn't leave the camera from him, he can pull back into this mid lane. And then minus 7 minute minus picked up on Faceless Void. I'm surprised it wasn't a little bit earlier since he had such fantastic farm. But then he didn't necessarily rush it, he did pick up those extra tangos and a little bit of items. But that Midas, nevertheless, is going to help pay off a lot. And it looks like they might want to go for this mid to late game type style. I mean, you have that Weaver, you go for that mid to late game. You have your early game burst damage with that Jakira and Coddle. And they have quite a well balanced team at the moment for We Pucked Up.
Just the one thing I'd like to mention, actually, Funky Monkey on that Faceless Void didn't actually use the minus the moment he got it. He sort of waited around for about 10-15 seconds, which, you know, it's not the longest amount of time, but at the same time, you really wanted to be popping it as much as possible in the early stages of the game so you can get that money back ASAP.
And at the same time, Tiny up at top lane, he's going to have his minus up very shortly. Even after that one death, he's going to have his minus up. He rushed it like there's no tomorrow. He's going to walk into that secret shop and pick up that Gloves of Haste. And there we go, he's got a minus. He's going to look at Windrunner. He picks him up, he tosses, but where is the Witch Doctor? Nowhere in sight. If there was a Malediction, if there was a cask coming up there, that would have been a death right there. But unfortunately, they didn't have the communication, and Windrunner's just gonna walk on out of there.
Yeah, I think that probably maybe would have been a kill there if there was a little bit of communication from MKD3. You know, a cask and maledict would have certainly helped. If not bring her down while she was, you know, within range, at the very least kill her when she tried to run off.
We have a hasted Coddle coming around the corner, and he's not going to find anything. I kind of wanted to like horse race that. Coddle's coming around, running around the corner. Timbersaw is running away. Will they be able to get it? No, they will not. Yeah, that's a little bit of excitement for no absolute reason. But I don't know. Down the bottom lane, they're still not doing too much. I mean, Crystal Maiden level 5, but what has she accomplished? 0. Marco, he's been set back a little bit. He's got 3 points in his Timber Chain. He hasn't got a top lane. Actually, a lot of damage coming out. We do have that ward. Can Tiny find that final kill? Wind runs around the corner and she will get out of there. She's turning back around. She finds a second kill onto Tiny. She's not afraid of death, but she will become death herself. And down bottom lane, we do have that kill. Timbersaw, he does fall from a nice damage output coming from the side of We Pucked Up. So, both lanes, top and bottom, will pick themselves up a kill.
Yeah, and this is amazing for We Pucked Up. They're doing extremely well. 3 kills. That Windrunner, I gotta say, One Ninja is doing amazing. Was able to get the first blood against 2 stunners by herself, and then also they're surviving and turning around at the right moment to get the kill on Tiny. We do have a little bit of pings there, but this is actually really good for We Pucked Up. The Faceless is doing well, which isn't a hero you actually see very often. But he actually is crying in that last fight as well. But it means that now that they can be much more aggressive around the other areas of the map. You got Jakira level 6, so you really can even just decide to group up if you want to. Because you do have the advantage at the moment.
This poor Witch Doctor, he's like, okay, they were pinging up there. I'm not sure if they knew there's a ward up there or not, but Witch Doctor, he goes in there to ward and he just gets beat up by those poor alpha wolves. Taking half his health and he's just going to have to heal himself back up, and that is not where you want to be throwing your mana at this stage of the game. I mean, it helps keep you in the lane, but you want to try and find this kill on this Ginger Ninja, and she's just not dying.
No. Yeah, I mean, there's been some very close calls there for One Ninja, but and going for the 4-star, so that will really help position her, but also anyone else who gets in a little bit of trouble as well. Oh, looks like they're actually jumping on.
And there we go, we have a little bit of stun, but there is no toss, there is no avalanche ready, and there comes the stun out. What do you feel about Tiny maxing toss instead of avalanche? I personally prefer the max in avalanche, because if that ability doesn't land, then there's no point, and you're not going to be harassing with toss anyway. And I think I just personally prefer that max in avalanche, as I believe it does more damage. Oh no, they're both 300. Never mind.
Actually, if you toss the unit that is, I'll hold that for. It looks like One ninja, doing a little bit more harassment to Kamani. Never mind, I thought I might go for a kill there. Got a nice shackle to the tree, but if you toss the unit that you're targeting, when they land, it should be doing extra damage, 20% extra damage, which is probably why he picked it up. It's an extra 60 in total.
Yeah, yeah, you're correct. I shouldn't say I guess. You are correct, but I guess preferences, bad player preferences take over, and I choose Avalanche. So, we do have Phase Boots now picked up and Tiny's going to run away. I'm not sure if he knows that the Coddle is now up here. It is under nighttime vision. They did not see any rotation. They did see the sentry. It did get counter-warded up on top rune, so no more vision left on the map for the side of MKD3. Do they have any wards currently on their side? You have Crystal Maiden going for that early mechanism. Where is that Witch Doctor? He does have a ward, so we might see that placed down very soon. He has Boots of himself, so he can be able to keep up in his engagements, but just in general, MKD3 are hurting. The farm is all over the map for We Pucked Up. They better grab it from all lanes. They're not missing too much. They're not giving away much, and they're absorbing all the XP where they can. Whereas MKD3, they're not too sure what they're up to at the moment. Timbersaur's now picked up his boots. Crystal Maiden's still sitting down here. She could have been in the jungle. She could have been finding something or trying to help up top lane. Instead, she's just absorbed XP down bottom.
Yeah, and then, I mean, 13 minutes into the game, Timbersaw level 5 still. The Crystal Maiden's higher level than he is. Yeah, I don't know what this Crystal Maiden. I think could have been much more effective for them earlier on. Because Crystal Maiden, her ulti is nice, but she falls so quickly that half of the time, unless you sort of use it off high ground or something where you've got the clear positioning advantage, you generally don't see the full duration or the full damage go off. So I feel like earlier she needs to really make the rotations happen and really set up the plays.
Down and bottom lane, they both end up teleporting out. I guess that works. The ice path whiffed on one, and then the second one's just like, I'll TP out.
Did they not see the Crystal Maiden there? Because Funky Monkey had time to Chronosphere if you wanted to.
I guess they didn't, because that's a little bit strange. They both ended up TP and they all went mid, and now they're just going to rotate back down bottom. So that's TP's expended.
With the smoke.
Yeah, with the smoke. They did pop that glyph from that tier 3 tower. Will they be able to stop it? TP's coming in. Very aggressive. They do find the tower. Can they turn around? China, he's going to throw that avalanche. It tosses into the Chronosphere. Will they be able to find Weaver? No, he won't. Funky Monkey, he's turned it back around onto that Macro Pie. We have Eye Macro who comes through. Weaver does manage to Kuchi on out of the face before it does go down. That is 2 heroes down for MKD. A lot of damage coming out from the Death Ward. He's still dancing his way to victory. Will Project be able to get on it? He does pop his ultimate, but his ultimate was popped way too late. He will fall to the Kotal's blast of death, and we've Pucked Up. They pick up and come out of advantage there. 3 kills to 2, and they took out the 2 carries on the side of MKD3.
They also got the T1 tower there. Yeah, that was a little bit weird there from sorry, who's on the Dragonite projects? The ultimate was just popped very late, and now it's going to be on cooldown, and it's not going to, yeah, I don't know, it was really strange. I'm surprised he didn't pop it the moment he had the chance to, because he would have been able to dish out more damage. The stun is obviously ranged, and now Marco in a bit of trouble. Now he's going to be able to get on out there.
Oh, if Crystal Maiden was paying full attention there, she could have frostbitten that Weaver underneath the tower. They would have found themselves a kill, because that time lapse was on cooldown for another 6 seconds. But now he's off cooldown, he's going back to base. But MKD3, they're struggling. They have managed to find a kill. They are working together. I mean, all the TP supports and their initiation there that shows that they are communicating correctly, but they just haven't been able to find the favorable outcome they need. I mean, under your tower you'd think would be favorable, but when there's a Faceless Void, it doesn't matter where you are. He will change the situation with his Chronosphere.
Even after that Chrono, I felt like it could have still gone a little bit better for MKD3 if they communicated a little bit better and just sort of worked out with it. Because it seemed like after that Chrono, Witch Doctor was sort of continuing going in, cast his ulti for that cask, but there wasn't really too much follow up from his team either. They sort of weren't sure if they were going to back up or keep going. So I feel like they probably might have been able to get away with their free for free, but nonetheless, I mean,
Oh, top lane, actually.
It's
Tiny, will he be able to find a kill? He will not. Weaver survives with one auto attack to spare. Tiny's auto attack takes 5 years to be able to get it off and will not find that kill. So, very nice pickup on that Weaver. He knew his limit and even had those magic wands if he needed to pop them, which in this case he did not.
yeah. So that's great kill there for Weaver, 1v1 against a Tiny. And Tiny, he really needs the Aghanims quickly. They want to be able to basically just destroy those towers and even those team fights as well, the cleave damage. But it's going to be so slow for him here. And he's picked up a rogue with Magi, so might go for something like a drums first.
So we see a smoke up from MKD3 just before that power shot came off, and where they're going, they're not sure where they want to go. They've decided they're going to go top, but Weaver's like, oh, there's 4 heroes missing off the map. Actually 5 heroes missing off the map. I'm going to get the hell out of here. I'm going back to base. Dragonite's going to turn around. He doesn't have the stun. He's not in his dragon form. The casket, it lands only twice, and now Timsor's going to come find on, and he gets shackled instantly to the tree. Underneath the tower, he's taking a little bit of damage. The reactive armor is stacking up, and they're not going to find anything. That was a smoking, but Crystal Maiden does find a kill on the Wind Ranger. There's the Chronosphere coming out on Eye Marker. Not the hero you want to be going for. He is being healed up by the Witch Doctor. Stun comes out. There goes the Faceless Void. The Ice Puff does land onto the Macro Pies, doing a lot of damage. Sakuchi and on through. He will find himself a kill. He's going to turn to Projects. Projects once again, very late ultimate. He's going to stand and fight. He's going to get hit Ice Puff, and he will fall to that Shakira.
Yeah, 2 for 2. I gotta say, Funky Monkey on that Faceless Void, he went for Marco on that Timbersaw, and I think partway through he's realized I've made a terrible mistake, but he figured this chrono is not gonna last that long, so I'm just gonna do whatever I can here. And unfortunately it wasn't enough. Witch Doctor did have his Voodoo Restoration up during that as well, so that was a little bit extra healing during that chrono.
And then damage came flying in from that Tiny, and they just weren't able to do as much as they want. Once again, unfortunately, Projects popping his ultimate late. That extra damage and AoE coming out from that Dragonite would be very beneficial in these fights, not to mention the additional armor and survivability he does have up in that Dragon form. And now, once again, we have TP Spot coming in from Tiny. Nice shackle onto 2 heroes. He does get that Avalanche and toss out onto the Weaver. The dust is thrown out. He does have a time lapse. He will pop it. He will run. Will Windrunner be able to find that kill onto that Crystal Maiden? He's got that power shot up in 1 second. He's going to have to back. They're not going to risk it, even though the entire side is here and they do see that Timbersaw down bottom. A little bit surprised that Windrunner didn't want to try and throw out that godlike power shot. But they're going to continue pushing and barreling down this mid lane.
Yeah, and now with Keeper of the Light, that mechanism is up. So they're going to feel much more comfortable pushing this out. You know, oh, that's a lot of that.
Will the Witch Doctor be able to get away? We do have a stun coming underneath that tower. Weaver, he's going to Sakuchi on out of there. I almost thought this Witch Doctor would die just due to the swarm from that Weaver, as it is level 4, but he got a little bit of help from that Tiny, being able to clean it up. Tiny's on a little bit of low health. If he reveals himself in this jungle, he's just going to pop that minus. He's not going to be able to get seen under that ward, so he's going to be able to survive there, but at the same time, we pucked up. They're going to get this tier 2 tower. The Illuminate comes flying through, doing so much damage. And now the Swarm to be able to keep a track on where this Dragonite is.
They've still got the mechanism. They haven't actually popped it yet. Weaver picks up the Lincolns, and I was actually going to talk about this a little bit earlier. I'm a little bit... Lincolns is good, but I feel like maybe in... actually, there's quite a few single target. Never mind. You know what I'm saying. Maybe I would have liked... Maybe I would have liked a Desolator, just because Weaver's doing so well. That extra damage just absolutely destroyed the entire lineup from MKD3. And currently Weaver not really dying despite so much single target. Well, I guess he does get to do that.
Yeah, I was about to say, but then again, that could have just saved his life, but he did have that time lapse. So, I do agree with you there, the Desolator pickup is absolutely phenomenal if you're ahead. I mean, if you're ahead, you can be further ahead of the Desolator because it just pulls out so much damage. And if you let your Faceless Void go first, you have 4, 5, and 6 seconds of total freedom to auto-attack into that Chronosphere. And for Desolator, you're going to help out your Faceless Void at the same time, being able to burn through his heroes. And here we go, Initiation, the Chakram, Pulse, Avalanche, all this damage coming out. We do have the Witch Doctor throwing out his ward. It's doing a lot of damage. They found 2 kills. They're going to be chasing the rest of these heroes back off the tower. And this is what MKD3 needed. They used that Faceless Void's Chronosphere against him, turned the fight around, picked up 2 kills, and they even found one on that Faceless Void himself. So, very nice fight coming from MKD3, and very nice charcoal being thrown out at the same time by that Timbersaw, being able to hold his own even while stunned.
Yeah, that was, I gotta say, a very unfortunate chrono. But MKD3, they really capitalized on that. Tiny just dealing so much damage very quickly there, and these are some of the kills that they really need. Although what they really need, in my opinion, is some towers, because they lack a lot of map control at the moment. Just looking at the gold graph at the moment, it's 14k in favor of We Park Top. About 7.5k in terms of experience, but looking at the net worth, we can
Weaver might
see
find a
that.
kill in this jungle. He's going against Tiny. Tiny, when he sees that last Gemini attack, and he will fall. Nothing they were able to do against that. I'm not too sure what the Tiny was doing there. I'm pretty sure they saw the Weaver rotate underneath this ward, but he wanted that extra gold, and
Yeah.
they make him pay for his greed.
Yeah, pretty much, and we can see that in like, the net worth. He's only sitting at 5.8k, so with the Weaver's 9.5, a massive difference. That's not where you want to be as a Tiny.
And Jakira, he's got a Void Stone up and running, so he's either going for a Scythe or a Yules. What do you think he wants to go for? I mean, he's getting some money up in his bank. Do you think it'd be worth it to pick up a Yules for any potential burst damage coming down the side of MKD3, or do you think it's better to go for that Scythe and then you can lock down that Tiny in about the 40-minute mark when, but it looks like Jerk should have his Scythe up and running?
I think both items are good. The other thing that you can do with an early Yules is throw them up and then land a nice ulti and ice path. It basically means that at least you get one person
Shackle
there
lands
for a
it to
long
2
time.
heroes, the Ice Path and the Power Shot through onto 3 heroes. Sukuchin coming on through. Iron Maka's trying to do whatever he can. They do find a kill on the Crystal Maiden. She is down. Projects, he's on the run. He's in his dragon form, but Weaver, he's going to run through. He doesn't care. He has a time lapse. He's going to be able to throw it off. They're turning back around. There's 3 heroes down for MKD. They're going to run in. Will they be able to find Iron Maka? Iron Maka's got no trees to action on. The Illuminate's not going to land. The Ice Path also misses. Power Shot's up and running. Can she find that hero? Not Ice Puff, yeah. Sure. She's not going to be able to find that hero power shot, but they do find 3 heroes. They didn't lose anyone, and now they can either go for the tier 3 or they can go back to Rosh.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, this is. I mean, they're gonna grab the tier 2 there in bottom. Funky Monkey wasn't even in that fight. They even just rotate the top and grab the last tier 2, but instead they just wanted to do a little bit of chip damage on this tier 3. I feel like this will probably get defended though by MKD3.
Kodo.
Yeah, there we go.
Look what Kodo's grabbing on the Curia. That's a rich support for you.
What's it? Oh wow.
He's picking up that Shadow Amulet. Once he starts casting that Illuminate, he's gone and out of sight, so he's going for some sneaky plays.
I'm like, I can understand why, but I really don't think he needs it at this point. I mean, he's so far back anyway, and MKD3, it's not like they're the one with the Weaver, because Weaver does that really well by, moving through the front lines into the back lines and picking off the supports.
But yeah, one thing I do want to point out, which we didn't really speak of too much, is we pucked up. They have all these heroes that can fight from a range. I mean, Kodo, Jakiro, Windrunner, and Weaver, they can all fight from a considerable distance. I mean, as you said, Weaver does have to get up and close and personal, but once you have that Chronosphere down, you have 3 strong support heroes that can dish damage from out of nowhere. And then Weaver can come in after that Void's finished and clean up the rest after Faceless has done whatever he can. So, we pucked up. They thought about their lineup. They went a very great synergy. Not something you would see often, but it works, and that's all that matters, and they're able to do a lot of damage. Dio, he wants to get in here and counter ward the Observer, but he's not going to be able to go anywhere, because with a Weaver there ready to run circles around him, he will find himself a kill, and he is actually picking up a Desolator. Now, that should be a nice pickup for that Weaver.
Yeah, should have had it by now. Oh, initiation there in mid. Will one ninja on the run?
Not going to be able to find the kill.
No. I was gonna say though, yeah, regarding the draft and we pucked up, they really did build this around the Faceless Void in his Chronosphere. That was actually like really
Oh,
really
a lot of
smart.
damage coming to Shadow
Oh,
Reaver.
that
He's
bot.
caught underneath the tower. He does have a time lapse, and he goes absolutely nowhere. Then they throw the dust off him. Will they decide to chase him down? The ward has been thrown. He gets thrown, the Dragonite, but Dragonite doesn't even know where he is, so he's running the opposite direction. They had a stun there. They could have found the Weaver. Weaver's dust will now expel. He's going to secure Giordano, and Hero Ice Puff by Jerk will slow off any further attack against that Reaver.
Yeah, I gotta say, currently we packed up doing really well. The MKD3, they sort of the community, like at some points it looks like they're communicating really well, and they initiate correctly, but then it sort of falls apart a little bit after that. Like for example, when Dragonite got thrown in there and then just turned around instead of walking with it. It seems like the game's a little bit off. Whereas we packed up, they've been they've been more active. I still feel like that tri lane that they had earlier on probably could have done a little bit more, but nonetheless, it didn't really matter because Faceless Void was still getting his free farm. Now he has that Battle Fury, so he's gonna be doing so much with that Chrono. And there's the Desolator for Weaver.
One thing I'd like to point out, Dragon Knight, he's level 12, but he's missing a point, which I think he threw into stats. I mean, that additional point in your stun helps. I mean, that's an extra 25 damage, an extra quarter of a second lockdown. So I feel it's a little bit strange to throw it into your stats. I mean, quarter of a second doesn't sound like much, but you need everything at this stage of the game, especially in terms of lockdown against a hero such as that Weaver. So I feel that's a little bit strange. But now we pucked up. They're going to be putting pressure onto this tier 3. They are missing that Windrunner, but you have a Coddle who should be calling Windrunner very shortly.
Yep. Instead, they're going back off and probably go for Rush.
Speaking of that Windrunner, she now does have that Monkey King bar, so she's going to be dishing out the damage. They got damage coming out from everywhere. You have the Weaver, who's got a Desolator on the way. You got Faceless Void, who's got a Battle Fury, and he's got a lot of damage. He's there at the moment to throw down the Void, and then followed up by the Windrunner and Weaver. I mean, he does have that Battle Fury, but he doesn't have a lot of damage on top of it. So, but everything works. Everything's going well. They pick up the Aegis, throw it towards Faceless, because Faceless has been the one dying in these engagements. Or, yeah, he has been the one dying in these engagements. I am correct.
Which is a little bit surprising because he's got he's the one that initiates, and yeah, obviously that can turn around poorly, but I feel like MKD3 with some of those initiations they've reacted appropriately. Which sort of works well for them, but unfortunately it doesn't seem like it's going to be enough here to pull back in this game at the moment, because currently Weaver is doing so well. Looks like they're popping everything.
He ran
Actually,
underneath 2
still be able to get
sentries.
on
They do kind of
Yeah.
lose it. I mean, they don't really have anything to negate that. I mean, you do have a casket. Actually, you got quite a few things to negate it. You got a casket, you got Crystal Man's Frostbite, you got a toss.
Fortified.
Or 4 if you include Tiny's AoE one, the Avalanche.
Yeah.
But
But
they've got 3 single targets.
so it's a little bit strange they couldn't find him there. Once again, he Sakuchis and makes his way out. It's just underneath the tier 3. He's got no care in the world. Ninja, however, he's got to be a little bit careful. We do have this Avalanche come down. Toss goes up in the air. Frostbitten. Ninja, she will fall, so she will go down. She's not escaping this time. Shadow River's in a lot of trouble. He does have time lapse. He will time lapse back in. He's just going to run straight back through him. He decides that's not the smartest idea of his life, and he will walk to the left. The toss comes on through. There's the Frostbitten. They've underneath the sentry, and they do find that kill. That's 719 gold going to your Crystal Maiden. A little bit unfortunate that didn't go to the Tiny, because that would have been very effective on getting his Aghanim Scepter up. Actually, he would have had his Aghanim Scepter up if he could pick up that extra 900 killed, but goes Crystal Maiden, and she now should have a mechanism coming her way.
Yep. Which is certainly nice. It's a very late mechanism, but nonetheless, it's something that they're going to really need in those engagements, particularly if we pucked up and get a good setup with the Chrono and Jakiro's ulti and stuff like that. Or even just in general, in just the general skirmishes around the map. Crystal Man doing well though to D1 as well.
So now MKD3, they've had a little bit of a taste of blood, and they like it. They're slowly trying to pull back in this game. If we do have a little look at that gold graph, I mean, they're still 20,000 behind, almost 20,000 behind an XP as well. But they're showing that they can still stand in these fights, and that's purely because they have a nice amount of AoE to be able to take these down, and a lot of stun capabilities. We pucked up, they've just been getting aggressive, they were without their teams, and they're just going to be paid. I think after the last two heroes dying, they're going to stiffen up a little bit and start holding hands, which you can already see Davy and Funky Monkey doing at the moment, a little bit too well though.
Yeah, like right next to each other. But currently this is, I think MKD3, they still have to be a bit careful with their movements. Actually, was that a teleport that was just cancelled by Dio? I can't tell. I thought I saw it on the map, but I don't know. Doesn't have a teleport anymore, so maybe I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It does look like that we pucked up want to go for this tier 3, or maybe even the racks. They still have the Aegis up.
And they have the Avalanche coming out. There's no stuns land. There's the Faceless Voids Avalanche. He gets pushed out, but there's a shackle holding him into place. And now we have the Frostbitten. Funky Monkey's going to lose that Aegis very fast. But they've grabbed a tier 3 tower. The Puff comes out onto Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor's not going to be able to do too much. Katari, he's in a lot of trouble if he tries to stand around and fight. He's got his Agnum Scepter. He's hitting heroes. Nothing else has fallen yet. No one's dead. This fight's going on for ages. There's the Frostbite. And there's the Crystal Nova doing a lot of damage. Funky Monkey does, but Tiny's already down. There's no buyback left on that Tiny. I'm Marco be able to get on there. He is being healed up by that Witch Doctor. Shadow Reaver is auto attacking there. There goes the Witch Doctor. And now Project, he's in a lot of trouble. He does have that Desolate up. He should have turned around. He could have found that kill onto the Weaver with that stun. It doesn't look like he's throwing out these stuns in these engagements, which he desperately needs. And now the mechanism keeping these heroes up and running. Will MKD3 be able to defend this any further? I do not think so. And now the racks, they will fall, and we pucked up should get on out of here before they lose anyone.
Yeah, this is, I mean, the game's all very aggressive on that Crystal Maiden. Pops the mechanism, but will fall. Maybe.
And he survived. He's fighting against that swarm, and he does get out of there. That final auto attack.
Wow. I like how he's like pinging, popping Crystal Nova. Doesn't work, by the way.
That is a fear if I've ever seen it. He's just like, help, help.
Yeah. I gotta say though, once again MKD3, they sort of had a lucky break with Keeper of Light pushing them out, and they got a quick kill on Funky Monkey on the Faceless Void. But then after that, they were sort of just disjointed, weren't really sure of what to engage on. I know two people tried to follow one ninja on that Windrunner, whatever you want to call her, and then the rest was sort of just attacking the others. There wasn't enough stuns there. I know Tiny sort of held back a little bit, was looking for a target, but it meant that he then got locked down and picked off before he could really do much else. Yeah, I think MKD3, they really have to focus and try to just pick up as many single heroes as they can. They really need to communicate, hey, everyone aim this guy now, kill him off, and then focus on someone else, just because they really need some kills, and just trying to split up and kill the entire team, at least get something out of it.
And Projects, once again, he threw his next level up point into stats. That's half a second of stun you are missing out there, Projects, which would be very useful in these engagements. I mean, you look at the last fight, if he had that half a second stun on any of the heroes and we pucked up, that could have been a kill. So, a little bit surprising there. Projects, he needs to try and keep up with his game, because I mean, everyone else at this moment for MKD3, they're pulling out all the stops. It's just Projects. If he can just pick up his game just a little bit and get working and focus, and the entire side of MKD target a singular hero, as you said, they will do a lot better in these fights and they can find more kills. And now they're going to rotate up top. They're going to try and find maybe a kill onto Jerk. Tiny's going to walk through here. He's going to see the TP. He walked the wrong way. They're going for Windrunner. Windrunner does 4 stuff, and, well, that was the end of that chapter. And down the bottom lane, Shadow River, he's going against Marco. They're both low on health. Who will come out victorious? There we go, Marco. He finds himself another kill.
Let's kill Weaver there from Marco. I'm not sure if you're lagging or if it's me.
I believe that could be me.
I was just gonna say though, once again, Tiny really held back on his stun there in top, and it was by the time he popped it was too late when Windrunner was already out of range. I'm actually having a little bit of a sound issue because I can't hear Dota Yoshi. I'm not sure if it's lag or if it's something else. Hopefully we'll get that sorted very soon though.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And this time though, they do jump on one ninja. He's taking a lot of damage. Is able to force stuff and win run out, and they're not going to actually decide to continue chasing. So once again, quite a few heroes and a bit of a wasted opportunity there.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
That was a little bit strange. Vent decided to go a little bit iffy on me. I should be back.
Okay.
I don't think anyone else is destroying my internet. I should only be me. But it's a little bit strange, but hopefully things should be sorted out there.
Well, I can hear you. Before you were sort of spiking a little bit, but now you seem to be clear again. So hopefully it's all resolved. But yeah, I was just saying that. Actually, I'm not sure if you heard any of that.
I heard everything.
But up in top.
So,
Okay, cool.
it was all good. It's just for some reason I was
Sweet.
just dying.
It's a long day. We're gonna have a few hiccups along the way.
That's Dota. You gotta have at least something wrong every time you do something.
Yeah, apparently there's a bit of lag via Dota TV, and I can't really change that because we have no control over it. And I don't think it's us. Our ping seems to be fine. Oh, nice
Initiation
chrono
on the
onto
tower.
two.
What a damage going onto these heroes, dear. She will fall instantly, and then Macropie doing a lot of damage to that Jakira, or not Jakira, to that Dragonite. So then finally, Timbersaw, he should die to the bashes coming out from Faceless Floyd. That's 3 heroes down. He's going to continue, and he gets stunned himself. There goes the casket. He's just avoiding all the damage. He's going to turn back around. He's going to start auto-attacking. He finds himself kill. No, he doesn't. The other 2 heroes managed to pick them up. But that's 5 heroes down. Buyback coming from the Tiny. Will he be able to defend this tower? He's going to try with all his might. But against 5 heroes, he could easily die right here. Shackle is not going to latch. Windrunner's going to be running away. Bashes, not going to be the case. Tiny finds himself a kill. And Shadow River avenges his fallen comrade. And now, this should be the next racks of the game going down. Faceless Void does buyback. He wants to get back in. He doesn't want to wait until he respawns. Marco is trying to do whatever he can with that Shackle. He doesn't find that kill, and Jerk doesn't walk away. Shackle lands, and Timbersaw falls. Now Dio, he gets on in, he throws out Crystal Nova, and he finds himself a kill on the Ginger Ninja. Not so elusive now, are you? Now, but the racks are down. That's all they came for, and they should be able to get on out of here with too much hassle or without losing anything else.
Or they could just try and get some more kills.
Which Shadow River does quite easily. That's Desolator just ripping through heroes. And there's the GG. They are called. We pucked up. We'll be taking their first game of the day.
Yep, and in quite,
victory.
I should say, convincing fashion as well. They really did, in the early game, control all their lanes. Windrunner doing amazing in that top lane to ensure that she got the first blood, and also a few other kills while also surviving. They really just were able to keep the ball rolling from there. I believe we've got a break for a little while. There is, of course, more games coming up for Defense of the Australians. The main Twitch channel is twitch.tv/Defense of the Australians. Omega Kai, I believe, I'm not sure if he's finished his game, but we do have a few more games coming up pretty much all day, every hour, on the hour. So just stay tuned in. You can follow me at twitch.tv/Zellerif. You can follow DotaYoshi at youtube.com/DotaYoshi, as well as our Twitters, which is at DotaYoshi and at ZellerifDota, respectively. Thank you guys very much for watching. We'll be back in a few hours. Please tune into the other casters as they are covering some more games. This is only day 1. We've got more action coming up tomorrow as well. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and we'll see you in a bit.